Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. So we're going to continue working with our leaves. Today, before we begin, I want to show you how I would recommend that you make a good photograph. So before you do too many drawings, you want to make a good photograph of this guy so that you'll have something to use in case something happens to it, in case it starts to continue to change. So I have here, this is just a piece of mat board. But what I'm looking for is something with a neutral background color. So I don't want to have a background that's complicated. So if you have like a wooden table, I would not place your leaf on a wooden table because that brings a whole extra layer of complication. I've also got here a sketch pad, and the cardboard on a sketch pad will be great. So I can use just this cardboard as my background for my photograph. So, all right, I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to switch to my document camera so you can kind of see what I want to show you. You can see here's my neutral background. I just kind of had this laying around. I'm going to make that full screen so you guys can see that better. So I'm going to place my leaf on this neutral background, and I want to consider my composition. So maybe I want it kind of tilted a little bit. Maybe I want this stem to be in my photograph. Maybe I want this stem to kind of work its way across the piece of paper. The other thing I want to be conscious of is this shadow, so the drop shadow that's created. Right now I have two lights on, so that's going to create more than one shadow. If you have, ideally, take it outside. Natural lighting is going to give you the best angle for your photograph. So I kind of like the angle of this. I want to, when I take the photograph, I want to eliminate any kind of background. I want it to be very, very simple. I'm going to see what happens if I turn off one of my lights. Actually, I think I want to turn the other one off. Yeah, so what I like about this is that this drop shadow is a little bit stronger. I'm going to move it out of this shadow that's created by my document camera, and I'm going to go ahead and take a photograph. So again, as I take my photograph, I want to make it so that the leaf is the only thing that I see, and I want to have all of my stem in the image. I'm going to actually, yep, take this photograph and then I'll show you what that looks like. So this is kind of the photograph that I ended up with. I kind of like the light. I like the drop shadows. For the finished piece, if I make a painting of this or a drawing of this, I feel like this is good light. So just double check your photo after you take it and make sure that it's something that you're happy with. All right, let's move on. Turn my light back on. You're going to need, for our next step, something to color with. Crayons will work, colored pencils will work, anything you have laying around. So I've got, just kind of at my disposal here. These are some pens with all of these different colors. You can use, I've got some markers here. These are acrylic markers that I could use if I wanted to. Anything to color. Crayons, if you have crayons, great. That's going to be awesome. I'm bringing out the rubbing that we did previously. You can see that I spent some time erasing kind of the border around this. I'm going to keep my leaf right here because I want to be able to really kind of study this and bring what I'm seeing over here. And I'm using, just because I had these guys and I thought I would play with them, these are some oil pastels. I don't know if you can see, but they're metallic, which is kind of cool. Anyways, so I'm going to set these here. Got my oil pastels. I've got my leaf so I can study the color, and I'm just going to begin to think about trying to match some of the colors that I see. So I've got this guy. I'm going to begin just to kind of color out here. Oh, and I see right away that this is actually a soft pastel, which changes things a little bit, but that's okay. So as I'm doing this coloring, I'm not thinking too much, but I am paying attention to okay, I see some brown spots here. So let me adjust that. Bring some brown up here. I want you to hopefully notice how quickly I'm doing this. So I'm not really taking too much time. There's that spot. So I'm seeing that spot, creating that spot. I notice that as I'm coloring that spot is darker here. So I'm going to bring a darker color over. Just kind of go on top. Maybe add some of this to these outer edges. So I'm really just kind of looking at this, bringing it over here. So I'm going to continue bringing that red out. My suggestion, my recommendation would be to do this quickly. So that's kind of what I'm going for right now. I don't want to overthink anything that I'm doing. I'm just kind of doing it quickly. So I'm noticing that where the red starts to meet the green, there's kind of a yellow in between. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to look at where there might be other spots where there's some yellow, and I'm going to bring that over. There's more brown out here, so I'll keep that in mind. I'm going to begin to bring some of this green. All right, so I'm gonna, hopefully you're kind of getting the feel for what it is that I'm going for here. But that's kind of what I'd like you to start with, is take the rubbing that you've done, add color to it. However you happen to have color, and let's see what you end up with. Don't forget to color your stem. So I have, I'll color mine eventually here. And I look forward to seeing what you guys make. Thanks.